Black Mirror's episode Archangel is about a little girl who has a device implanted in her head that allows parents to track, create content filters, see the child's life through their eyes, and other surveillance responsibilities that act as protection. As technology advances, parents worry about what their children are viewing on the internet. Parents are able to set controls on what their children see, but with new advancements, this can be taken too far. As children get older, it is important for parents to have trust in their relationship and that they know right from wrong. Archangel's censoring that Maria uses on Sarah prevents her from seeing content that could harm her or create her any stress. While it is understandable to use for a toddler, children need to understand how to react in certain situations. We see how Marie's censoring over Sarah impacts her reactions in two scenes. When Sarah's grandfather collapses, her censor instantly turns on, leaving Sarah unable to see what is happening. This prevents her from being able to help her grandfather in an emergency situation. Next, we see Marie and Sarah at her grandfather's grave. Even though Marie's face is censored for Sarah, we know that Marie is crying while grieving her father's death. We know this would be her reaction because we have either first or second-handedly experienced an event like this. However, Sarah remains distant because she cannot see that this is an upsetting situation. Censoring in this situation leaves Sarah unsure of how she should be reacting in this type of event, further preventing her from understanding her emotional responses. So what would happen if she was stuck inside of a burning house? She wouldn't be able to see it and she wouldn't know how to react. Not experiencing traumatic situations your entire life prevents a person from creating their personal identity and learning and growing from those experiences. While it is understandable for parents like Marie to use controls to prevent a child from seeing things that could be damaging, it can also be excessive. This is where we see helicopter parenting come into play, where parents need to know what their children are doing and where they are at all times. The control Marie has over what Sarah is doing and where she is creates a lack of trust, independence, and freedom. This coincides with how these events prevent a person from growing and learning from experiences. For example, teenage Sarah begins hanging out with a boy and experiencing new things. These new experiences include drugs and sexual involvements that every parent fears. However, if a person is never exposed to these experiences, how will they ever learn from them?
The effects of helicopter parenting progressively gets worse as the child ages. Once the child is of age to do things for themselves, they may lack the knowledge and experience to do things correctly, leaving them in a tough situation with the feeling of failure. An example of this in the episode is when Sarah goes out with her friends. In this scene, she is offered drugs, which she probably did not even know what it was due to her childhood censoring. Because she does not know what it is or the side effects of it, she agrees to smoke weed. Also during that night, she had sex for the first time with her boyfriend Trip. The only knowledge of sex that she has is from whenever she was shown porn whenever she first got her censoring technology turned off. With porn the only sexual knowledge she has, she does not understand that sex and porn is not the same.
You know, you didn't have to talk like that.
Like what?
Like the porn stuff.
During her sexual encounter with Tripp, she was trying to perform like a porn star, which Tripp later laughed at her for.
What? Just you?
This is one example of how helicopter parenting can have a negative effect on a child. Helicopter parenting can cause more harm than protection in the long run. This is identified first when Sarah is younger and she wants to know what blood looks like. To satisfy her curiosity, she stabs herself with a pencil. However, though she was wounded, she still cannot see the blood because of the censoring technology. Another example of how the censoring caused more pain to Sarah is whenever her mother gave her the pill to terminate her pregnancy. Sarah did not know that this was done, and she was wondering why she was feeling sick and throwing up, and went to a doctor.
Emergency contraception. For terminating your pregnancy.
There's no pregnancy.
I was trying to protect you. I was trying to keep you safe. Honey, turn it off. Everything I've done.
Lastly, we can see the most harm is whenever Sarah's upset with her mother after finding out what she has done. Sarah begins to beat her and beat her pretty badly. However, Sarah is blind to the fact of what she was doing until it was all over. A helicopter parent is a parent who takes an overprotective or excessive interest in the child's life. This can cause identity and independency problems as the child ages. In the Black Mirror episode Archangel, Marie is definitely a helicopter parent. This has been a review of how technology and helicopter parenting prevents children and teens from developing their own identities and making their own decisions. Thanks for watching.